The following story is based on real events and legal records. Names, locations, and identifying details have been changed to protect privacy. For 31 years, Barbara and Robert Ellison built a life together on the outskirts of Columbus, Ohio. They married in 1993, when she was 30 and he was 32. Their marriage operated on a strict, agreed-upon division of labor. Robert poured his hours into scaling a small commercial plumbing business. Barbara kept the rest of their world turning. She raised 2 children, managed every household operation, and eventually returned to the workforce as a pediatric dental hygienist. Because of this arrangement, Barbara held absolute trust in their financial partnership. She balanced the checkbook, paid the mortgage, and filed joint taxes every April. She believed she knew their financial status to the exact dollar. The discovery she was about to make changed the meaning of every year they spent together. The disruption arrived on a random Monday in September. Robert didn't sit her down to talk. He had a process server deliver divorce papers while Barbara was away at a book club. Barbara did not panic. She hired a divorce attorney who immediately brought in a forensic accountant. By Thursday morning, that accountant had uncovered a hidden Charles Schwab brokerage account, registered in Robert's name alone. It was opened in March 1999. That was the exact month Barbara left her job to go on maternity leave with their youngest child. By the time it was uncovered, the account held $847,000. This presented a massive legal hurdle. Robert's position was simple. The hidden money was his because he went to work and earned it. To recover any of that balance, Barbara would have to find a legal mechanism to claim ownership of wealth her name was never attached to. Ohio law operates under a framework called equitable distribution. In a divorce, courts divide marital property, assets acquired during the marriage, in a manner they deem fair. Robert's legal team built their defense around a specific exception. They argued the Schwab account was separate property. Their reasoning was that the account had been funded exclusively by surplus income from the plumbing business, an entity entirely distinct from Barbara's earnings. This argument carried serious legal weight. Robert had officially incorporated his business in 1991, 2 years before they were married. On paper, his lawyers had a direct line between a premarital asset and the secret funds. Barbara could not win by arguing she deposited a single paycheck into that account. She needed a strategy that would legally redefine how the commercial plumbing income was generated in the first place. Her attorney answered Robert's defense with an exhaustive economic analysis centered on a concept known in family law as non-monetary contributions. This chart plots 2 distinct lines. On the bottom axis, it assigns a specific fair market dollar value to the 12 years of unpaid childcare and full-time household management Barbara provided from 1999 to 2011. On the top axis, it tracks the deposits Robert made into the secret Schwab account over those exact same years. The legal filing drew a direct line between these variables. It argued that Barbara's unpaid labor at home was the exact operational mechanism that gave Robert the capacity to work long hours, scale his company, and generate the excess profit he was secretly funneling away. This tactic completely removed sentimentality from the courtroom. It did not ask the judge to feel sorry for a devoted mother. It converted domestic sacrifice into a quantifiable financial equity claim. While Robert's lawyers scrambled to respond to the labor analysis, the forensic accountant found a second anomaly. For 22 years, Robert had transferred money into the Schwab account using a highly methodical pattern. Every single deposit was kept under $10,000 and spaced out over specific intervals. Financial institutions and the IRS recognize this pattern. It is an attempt to evade federal reporting requirements. It is called structuring, and it is not legal. Barbara and her attorney compiled a complete report of the illegal deposit history. They sent it directly to Robert's legal team, along with a firm deadline. If a satisfactory settlement was not reached within 30 days, the analysis would be handed over to federal authorities. Robert spent 22 years meticulously hiding his wealth to ensure his wife could never touch it. That history became the exact point of leverage that forced his immediate legal surrender. Settlement negotiations began the next morning and lasted 6 weeks. Barbara made a deliberate choice to stay out of the conference room. She went to work, she tended her garden, and she let her attorney dismantle Robert's finances. The first phase of the finalized agreement addressed the marital home. Barbara was awarded the house entirely, absorbing 100% of its $381,000 in equity. Then came the business and the brokerage account. The equitable distribution framework held firm. Robert retained his company, but Barbara was awarded a 40% payout of its assessed value. As for the $847,000 secret account, the judge ruled it fully marital property. It was split straight down the middle. She sat down in her attorney's office to sign the final paperwork. With the home equity, the business buyout, and her share of the hidden account, the total settlement reached $1,160,500. Robert was also ordered to pay her legal fees in full. The signature on that page represented the final validation of her role in the partnership. She was no longer a dependent. She was a creditor. Today, Barbara is 63 years old. She still works 3 days a week at the pediatric dental office. She does not need the paycheck. She goes because she likes the children, and because her schedule is now entirely her own. She used the settlement to execute the plans her husband had always found reasons to delay. She finally remodeled the kitchen. She booked a trip to New Zealand with her sister to see the mountains. She also brought home a large, chaotic golden retriever named Walter. Walter destroys throw pillows and takes up too much of the bed. He is living proof of her freedom to make slightly inconvenient, deeply joyful choices without consulting anyone else. Months after the divorce was finalized, her daughter asked her a quiet question. Was she still angry about the decades of deception? Barbara answered, "I was, and then I got the account statement." And then the anger turned into focus. The settlement didn't just end a marriage. It provided the foundation for a life Barbara was finally allowed to lead on her own terms.